Society and its mechanisms are reflected in literature. For this reason, literature in the past few centuries relegated women to a secondary and less important role in novels, because it reflected women's role in society. Only recently, we witnessed a growth in books with women as main characters, or at least with female characters that play a very important role in the story, without being stereotypes like the damsel in distress, the fragile woman in love, or the loving mother protecting her family. In the fantasy genre, in which A Song of Ice and Fire belongs, even more in the classic fantasy like The Lord of the Rings, these stereotyped female roles are emphasized even further. And in this literary genre, the women are just a support for the male characters around them that are a lot more interesting and characterized. A Song of Ice and Fire, even if it's a fantasy, is an exception, because George Martin wanted to create a very ample range of realistic and complex figures. The female characters in the saga are not stereotyped, they don't follow a foreseeable script. Those are women capable of amazing achievements, but at the same time of cruel and horrible actions. Those women have their own goals and they aren't created to help the male characters. Actually, often they only help themselves. In both books and TV show, women are the driving force of a lot of incredibly important turning points on the storyline, or they are the cornerstone of events that can change the course of their world. The thing I love the most about Martin's character is that they are terribly human. None of them can be described as totally good or evil. He created a world where there isn't a division between black and white, right and wrong. The characters move in an infinite gray area of morality. Everything they do is in order to achieve their own goals, because they think it is necessary or simply because they want it. They act, plot, kill, and fight moved only by their desires and ideals. There isn't a greater good or justice. They only seek a goal and a lot of obstacles to overtake. Martin's female character, subject of this dissertation, are many-sided, characteristic and unique, never boring, never predictable. Sometimes they are hateful, irritating or scary. This led the readers and the TV show fan to identify themselves in them or to cheer for this or the other character. Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons, is one of the most loved characters in the saga. The queen that fights against slavery in the free cities and that wants to take back the Iron Throne with the strength of her armies and her 3 dragons, the only dragons alive. She is a 15-year-old girl. We must never forget that most of the main characters in the saga are very young. That suddenly finds her status changing from being almost a beggar in exile to being a queen in charge of an immense army to be an almost unstoppable. It's not difficult to understand why she is so popular. Not only she is very wise and compassionate for her age, but she is also the emblem of male power in her most brilliant form. Her desire to kill the family of the man that almost wiped out her house from the world and the need of compensation are her motives. Then there is Cersei Lannister, the queen that from the shadows reigns all over the 7 kingdoms, with every means necessary. She was raised with the ideal that family and power are the most important things. What you can't buy with gold, you will obtain with other means. Cersei is a character that usually is hated by the fans. She is grouchy, cruel even, a character that won't hesitate to kill, betray, or commit horrible actions to achieve her goals. Considering that she was the one who framed Ned Stark for the death of King Robert Baratheon, and that at the end of the 6th season of the TV show she literally blew up a part of King's Landing to get rid of her enemies. Still, I really appreciate the fact that Martin showed us her most human sides. Her motives are the need to protect the members of her family that are still alive, and the need to show to everyone that she always had the skill to be a leader. Arya Stark is one of Ned Stark's daughters, and is the youngest of the women I've considered. She's only around 11 in the books. She saw her family being decimated and her own father being decapitated. She had to lie, hide, fight, and kill in order to save herself and not be captured by the Lannisters' troops. She is an extremely brave and stubborn young girl that rebelled from the start when the nannies tried to raise her into a lady role, preferring to go and train with her brothers, mastering skill usually reserved to males. Differently from Daenerys and Cersei, she has no interest in the throne or the power. She only wants to avenge her family and come back to Stark's ancestral home, Winterfell. Brienne of Tarth is a very resolute woman when it comes to follow her ideals. She is totally disinterested in power and completely unable to fulfill the traditional role of a noble woman, not because she doesn't want to or because she rebels to it, but because of the structure of her body and her military nature that makes it impossible for her to adapt to the role. All of her life she suffered for this, because all the men around her made cruel pranks and jokes. Her only dream was to be a knight. Her goal is to serve for the right cause, and right now, for her the right cause is the Stark's cause. Lastly, Asha Greyjoy, called Yara in the TV show, is probably the female character that more than anyone else performed almost a male role, and their behaviors show that. Asha was educated by her father like she was a man, because Balon's sons were all dead or far away kept as hostages. She learned how to lead men in battle and how to be a formidable warrior that no man will face without thinking about it twice. From a very young age. Determined, self-confident, and extremely intelligent, Asha is a formidable enemy to have. Her goal right now is to avenge her father by killing his murderer, Euron, and to take the throne of the Aeron Islands from his dead body, becoming the first queen in the history of her own country.